And now you're in for a special treat. Influencing social media and building successful brands. David A. Steinberg, co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Zeta Global. Heather Ray El Moussa, real estate expert, model, and actress. And Tarek El Moussa, CEO of TEM Capital. Enjoy.
Welcome. Well, this is always an honor to get to be with you guys. Last year, Tarek joined us and shared his story. Thank you for fixing the mic. This year, Heather, his better half, as we both like to joke, is here.
Way better.
Way better. I announced this morning that we had broken 7,000 people streaming this simultaneously. To point out, last year we had 1,700 people. Then we were sort of like, let's go for 3,000 this year. I think a large reason we are at or above 7,000 are the two people right here. We did run, mainly Heather.
Oh,
yes.
wait. I protest that.
Oh, come on.
Some of those were mine, too.
We had like a little secret game going on, which we're now going to call the Zeta Cup. And the Zeta Cup is a Waterford Crystal wine decanter, because I drink wine, so why not do something that's actually useful? And whoever helps us get the most users, and let's be frank, our crack marketing team just crushed it on this. But was not Deepak Chopra, who was 28 million followers, was not Michael Milken, who's maybe the smartest human I know, but not a big social maven. And it was not Tarek El Moussa. It was Heather Ray Young El Moussa, who just lapped everybody on the sign-up. So we appreciate it. But to say that these two are juggernauts is an understatement. When they often talk about the triple threat, they don't get into the quadruple threat, or I don't know what 5 would be, a triple threat? I don't know how you would say that. But Heather, you're the star of one of the top TV shows in the world. It's either 1, 2, or 3 in any country that it's in. You have multiple businesses that you operate. You're a model. You are a mama. She's pregnant, which she's publicly announced. I almost got in trouble for saying it one time on camera, so I was glad I didn't screw that up. Tarek, I think we all know you for Flip or Flop. As we were getting off the elevator, John Scully did everything but ask you for your autograph. He was like, oh my God, my wife and I love Flip or Flop. So you're on TV. You are a social media hero. I was going to say maven, but I think that's a female term. But well, for you it might work. But bottom line, and you run some incredible businesses around buying homes, selling them for wholesale, or buying homes, packaging them up to a number of the large private equity firms now. They're all out there looking for product, and you're able to put together for these private equity firms real packages of these homes. And your education business. So to say that you guys really get it is an understatement. And Kristen and I, my wife who's here today, you're also our dear friends, which is great. So we appreciate your coming out here today. Let's start by talking about marketing, right? So marketing, we have a lot of marketers here. Marketing started in the bazaars of the Middle East, where people would start screaming about their wares. It then, with the Gutenberg printing press, took a bit of a leap forward with printed materials. And then we'll jump all the way ahead to linear TV, which started with the Texaco Hour. And for those of you who don't know, soap operas are called soap operas because they were paid for by Procter & Gamble. They paid for them to manufacture the show, something we like to talk about, created content. And they then sold Tide alongside of it. Then we got the internet. 1.0, AOL, MSN, the first iteration of Yahoo, where up until that point, all advertising ran alongside of the content that it was next to, right? So it wasn't run to the individual, it was run to the content that people were consuming, and as a byproduct of that, you built an audience. We've now jumped ahead to the social media creator and the social media influencer, which of course are two very, very different things, but you guys do both. How do you approach, Heather, your social media
Hi, you guys. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, David, for having me. So when I first got on social media, so I was born in the 80s. So I grew up in a time that we didn't always have social media. I didn't have a computer till I was 18. I didn't have a phone till I was 18. So I got to live in the...
Well, you did live on a mountain, like in the middle of nowhere.
I lived in a tiny, tiny town. So it took me a while to get caught up on social media. And I started modeling and acting when I was 21 years old. I am now 35. When I was 27, I got my real estate license. And I didn't realize how huge social media was going to be for companies and brands and businesses. And now it's everything for a business. And so the way I approach it is I'm myself on my social media. I like to be myself because I want people to relate to me. I want to talk to my fans, talk to people that are following me. I now do a lot of brand deals with different companies. I make 6 figures from one brand deal I do. And it's because I'm very relatable with my content. And I'm very open.
Does that mean you're buying dinner tonight?
Yes.
No, I will not. But yes, I will for you. But I'm just very raw with my social media. And I try to talk to people. Don't be scared when you're doing social media. You have to just get out there. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's posting videos. Everyone's walking around the street posting, taking photos. And that's how you build your brand and you build your business.
Tarek, and we talk about this all the time. I think Heather touched on it. Authenticity, right? How do you approach your social? Which, let's be frank, Heather has the substantially bigger audience, but yours is nothing to frown at.
Whoa, I wouldn't say that much bigger, David.
Well, only a million
Just 3
people
times
bigger.
more. It's not that bad.
I mean, by the way, both of you have massive audiences, and I'm sort of pathetic as it relates to that, so I'm teasing. But when you think about your role as a creator, how do you approach that?
For me, I'm all about real estate investing, real estate education, and really sharing my love of real estate with the masses. And for me, whenever I'm creating content on social media, I honestly try to talk from the heart, and I really try to express to people that I'm trying to help them improve their lives through real estate. So I try to keep it as organic as possible, as truthful as possible. And through social media, I'm able to share who I am. I'm able to share my story. And the ultimate goal is to inspire others to go after their dreams and to do more. And I feel like the best way to do that is just to be the real, authentic you. So for me, it's all about being the real me and really genuinely try to help people, because I feel like real estate is such an amazing business, and I want all the fans, all the followers to really jump on the bandwagon with me. And the only way I can do that is to be the real me. So I just try to be real.
So speaking of real, Heather, in a moment of great candor, it was pre-pregnancy, you were drinking a lot. You mentioned to me when we were on vacation this summer that you were terrified of making videos when you started this whole journey. How do you go from terrified to, so unbelievably confident? What did that take?
Well, when I first started making videos, it was scary because I'd see my friends do it, and I didn't know how to put out content. I didn't think people would want to watch my content. I didn't think people were going to be interested in what I was doing, and I was terrified that I was going to be judged. Like, why is she out there holding the phone up, walking around, doing videos, selfies? And honestly, confidence takes time, and confidence takes just practicing and doing it over and over, and relating to people that are watching you. And once I started getting feedback, I really listened to my audience. I really listened to what people want. And I give them what they want because that's who's watching me, and that's how I built my brand. And then also, I filmed two TV shows, and I do a ton of interviews with different what?
Publishers.
Publishers, media outlets.
Well, you do the Entertainment Tonight thing.
Yeah,
you do all that
I do
stuff.
Today Show, Entertainment Tonight. It's endless, and I wasn't always good at those either. It took practice for me. So I think just putting yourself out there, practicing over and over, and everyone else is doing it. You're not the only one out there doing it, so you have to remember that as well.
Tarek, you probably were not quite as nervous about making your first videos, but you started in some place, and as you told us last year, right? You started your journey living on a cot in a garage, and today you run multiple multi-million-dollar businesses and are considered to be one of the great marketers of the real estate ecosystem. How did your social journey begin, and how did it get to the point where you are today?
Good question. So my social
Does that infer
journey,
the rest of my questions were bad?
Well, we'll talk about that later, David. So my social media journey started in 2016, actually. You know, and I got on TV in 2013, and I never thought about social media. Never wanted to be on social media. I was like, I got cameras on me enough. I don't want to do this social media stuff. And then 2016, I ended up going through a separation and a divorce, and I kind of found myself on my own. And I said, well, I better try this social media thing. So when I first started, like, I would hashtag.
So you started on social media to get dates?
getting in DMs.
I was going to say, were you looking for DMs? Or?
It's not that kind of interview.
Can we tell them that that's how he first asked me out, and I turned him down?
Can you guys believe that? She turned me down. But who's sitting next to me right now pregnant? I'm just saying.
All right, we digress. Back to social media.
Back to social media. So when I first got on social media, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what a hashtag was. I would hashtag every single word because I didn't know what to do. And then, like anything in life, over time, you just start understanding it. And the more you do it, the better you get. And then as time went on, I realized that, hey, you know, people watch my shows, and I do have a lot of valuable information between these big ears of mine, and a lot of people want to hear about it. So I just really put myself out there, and my goal was really to help and educate and motivate and train and inspire as many people as humanly possible. And once I really started doing that with passion and drive, my following started growing, and it started growing because I was my true, authentic self. So I think it's important just to put yourself out there. And at the beginning, I was so bad. I mean, I would shoot a 5-second video 35 times because I would be so embarrassed. And now I just put it up whether I'm embarrassed or not because it's just who I am. And honestly, the followers love it.
I think it's fun to see those raw moments. I don't edit anything that I do. I like to put out, if I trip, if I mess up, if I stumble on my words, that's real life. Nothing has to be perfect.
Well, such a big part of your brand is your bubbly personality, right? And it really shows through. Tarek, I'm going to jump back to you for a second. I want you to pretend for a second like the people who run marketing for Pepsi, MasterCard, or General Electric are in the audience, because in fact they are. So when you think about that, what advice would you give to them as they thought about working with an influencer?
Yeah, well, they are definitely a different league than me, but with my advice is, you know, today I feel like it's not really about the product as much anymore. I think it's really about the brand that's attached to the product that gives it that credibility that makes other people want to use that product. So I just feel like exposing a product with the right talent and the right influencers that are pushing a product, it's going to create the masses to jump on the bandwagon and also purchase that product. So I just feel like it's changed quite a bit.
And I'm going to add to that. I think don't be too salesy. And I think find a good face, like he said. Find someone that other people resonate with. Don't pick someone that has the most followers just because they have hundreds of millions of followers. Not everyone cares about that. And I think you need to also do something good for the environment. So do things that give back to people. People want to put their money in places that they feel good about spending.
So as you think about that, Tarek, one of the things we were talking about earlier today is that you feel like when brands partner with influencers, I didn't even realize this because it's obviously nobody's influencing me. Although I did get 4 cans of spaghetti sauce from a big brand. They sent it to me and said, "Would you open these on your video?" I was actually super pleased to get that free spaghetti sauce, but that was great, and it was carbone, so I really liked that. But Tarek, I didn't realize they send you a script and they say, "Read this." And you got to just hold your phone up while they do that? I mean, I know we don't want to get,
Yeah, you know, like a lot of times if I'll get a big brand deal and then the brand will kind of send over what exactly they want us to say. And like, for me, what I would love to do is just take the notes from the brand and really make it my own, throw in my personality, throw in my verbiage in there. And make a marketing message that comes from me that's really organic and credible versus saying certain words or lines or key phrases that the brand wants, because the people watching, they know what's real and what's not, right? So I feel like let the talent be the talent and really showcase the product in a way that they want to. Like, I just did a deal about this, fly trap thing. And before I got this deal, we bought the fly trap, and I'm so obsessed with this thing. Like, if I could have done the ad my way, I was just so excited about the fact that I could get rid of these flies without all the headaches and the nastiness, right?
By the way, my wife told me we already owned a bunch of those fly traps. So
Yeah.
we were,
they're the best, by
we're
the way.
big fans of the fly trap. Heather, when you think about this, like so much of what we've talked about thus far is about authenticity, right? How does it differ when you get a box, it says, here's the script, we'll pay you, $100 grand for 6 reads or whatever it is, and you just read it?
Yeah, I never do that, ever. And I also don't work with brands that I don't truly believe in. So that was something really huge for me in the beginning. I don't want to work with anyone that I don't actually want to use, a product I don't want to use or I believe in. I'm vegan. I use chemical-free products. So
Trust me, we know you're vegan.
I'm
We have
vegan.
to
If
special
you don't
order
know
for
that,
you
yes.
everywhere.
I'm pregnant now, so I'm doing things that are more authentic to me, and then that my true self comes through. So same thing as what Tarek said. I don't just read a script, and I also write my own scripts. I work with a social media manager. We write them together, so it comes from my voice. The brand will approve them, and most times I never get, pretty much I think I'm going to give myself a little credit here. I never get feedback that they need me to do it again. First take, they love it, and they always usually come back and work with me again.
Well, it's interesting. I saw the other day, I watched you for a few minutes do an Amazon Live.
Yeah.
Right? What was that? So first of all, how do you get an Amazon Live? Does like Amazon call you and say, hey, we want you to come on and talk to like 20 or 30 million people? Or like what's going on there? And then how'd you pick the products?
So I've done, so every month I post products that I love that I buy from Amazon myself. And most months I make Amazon between 30 to 50,000 a month just from products that I post on my social media. And I also went to an Amazon event. Tarek was with me. It was a very girly event, and he came with me to support. And I just made contacts. I met the CEOs. I met people in charge of PR, branding, marketing, beauty products. So I made those connections. And then they asked me to do an Amazon Live. So it was an hour, and I talked about products that I actually really use. And it was really fun for me because I was teaching people out there what works for me, and it was fun because I got excited about the products that I love and I actually use, and I was able to make a lot of sales and push them.
Well, it's interesting. So it started with the hustle, right?
Always the hustle.
And nobody hustles like Super Tarek here, right? So
Except me.
Well, you're
Oh, really?
very close. I'm going to give Tarek the hustle one. I
am pregnant and
I gave you the
hustling,
social. That's true.
I can never win, ever.
Welcome to being married. But Tarek, you are exceptional in the real estate ecosystem, right? So you've got multiple businesses. Really, sort of the headline business is TEM Investments? Capital. I knew I'd get it wrong. It's a TEM Capital. In my own defense, it used to be called the other one. But TEM Capital, which is really focused on bigger real estate projects where you are able to now leverage your brand into bigger projects where you're putting your name on the project and investors are participating. How have you marketed that pivot for yourself, right? So now you've had Tarek Buys Houses, you've had the different sort of flip businesses, but that's a big pivot. And to your credit, it's really working, right? The first project's done, you're on to your next few projects. But how are you marketing that?
Every single thing I do across the board in all my businesses is done through social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. And what we'll do is we throw webinars, we throw live events over the internet. And TEM Capital, across the board, I have a couple million followers, and typically my followers know me as a real estate investor on HGTV and Discovery Plus. And there are so many people out there over the years who've always asked me, hey, Tarek, I want to invest with you, which gave me the idea to launch TEM Capital. So now with the new company, we are launching commercial projects, and then to get investors for those projects, we promote and market these webinars across the social media platforms, and then people join these webinars, and then from there, if they like the opportunity, they invest. And thus far, we've been able to raise capital from strangers on the internet who have now become friends. We bought 4 apartment buildings, and right now we are wrapping up a self-storage development deal, which is 202,000 square foot development in Surprise, Arizona. So, you know, years ago, this was just a dream of mine, right? But now through the power of social media, really it's because of social media. If it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. But it gives you that reach, it gives you that opportunity where you can actually share what you have to offer. And your audience, if they like it, they jump on the webinar, right? And if they like what they hear on the webinar, then they're now partnering and investing with you. And then from there, it becomes more personal relationship.
Well, it's interesting because one of the things I've always found fascinating about both of you, right, is Tark, you use your social media and then you've built businesses behind it. Heather, you have used your social media to further your TV career and to get paid to market for products. And I know you're now thinking about starting your own businesses, right? You've been approached to start your own beauty brand and other things. As you think about the evolution of your brand, where do you go from here?
Oh gosh. Well, now also being pregnant, I've hit a whole different demographic. I'm a stepmom. We have 2 beautiful kids, and I love being a stepmom, and now I'm pregnant. So I've created my own beauty line. It's going to be launching in 6 to 8 months, and I'm going to utilize my social media. I'm going to utilize my TV shows, the fans that I built from there. And also now I am on Discovery Plus and HGTV alongside my husband. We're filming our own flipping show right now.
The Flipping El Musas.
The Flipping El Musas. So I'm filming Selling Sunset on Netflix and also Flipping El Musas. And I'm learning to flip houses alongside Tarek. So I came from a luxury real estate department, and now I get to, you know, learn from the very beginning, middle, and end, and that's been very exciting. But
can we talk about when the little rat scurried through the 2 of you while you were looking
the
at a house?
cockroach.
Whatever it was.
It was a cockroach, yeah, and it was very scary. But you know, endless opportunities. I'm just getting started, to be honest, and I never thought I would be here today. I never thought I would be doing interviews, being in magazines, be on 2 TV shows, being up here at Zeta. So these are accomplishments for me that I keep pinching myself. They're moments that you have to remember because they fly by, and it's on to the next, it's on to the next. It's such a fast-paced life and world that I'm in, and it's really exciting, and I'm not stopping. I'm just getting started. I'm so motivated. I came from the smallest town. I didn't come from much, and I've built this brand and met the love of my life.
Do you see what I got to keep up with? I'm trying to
Hold on,
outwork her.
I'm still
She never slows down.
processing #1 TV show in the world, People Magazine, and Zeta Live. So that like I'm going with that one.
Love you, David.
Love you too. Tark, sports. You grew up, your dad and you, very tight, amazing man, but you were incredibly focused on athletics as a kid. We talked a little bit about sort of Malcolm Gladwell's theory of 10,000 hours. So to summate again, if you do anything for 10,000 hours, you can become an expert. There's definitely the point of diminishing marginal return there. I could try to play the violin for 100,000 hours and not do it. But one of the things you talk about a lot is practice.
Yeah, so practice is everything for me. You know, growing up, I mean, I practiced baseball 7 days a week with my dad, who was also my biggest hero as a kid and the most motivating, positive guy I could have asked for as a father. So my dad would always tell me, anything is possible. Anything is possible if you're willing to put in the work. So I remember being an 8-year-old kid, 9-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid going to practice every single day. And my dad would actually pay me through video games to go practice baseball. And what happened was my entire life, I was always working so hard and always practicing. And then I got into the real world. And as an adult, you know, I took the exact same lessons that I had as a kid into my adult life. So I just started practicing on everything I did, and I would do it every single day. And as time went on, I would just get better, better, and better. So it didn't matter what it was when it came to the business world. The more I did it, the more I practiced, the better I got. And I really learned those lessons through sports.
All right, so Heather, in the last few minutes we have, you did, I saw, promise a few insider secrets to the audience. Let's talk a little bit about the Flipping El Musas.
Yes.
So it's not, I know it's been announced, but really you haven't publicly talked about the show yet. Why don't we take a minute? Tell us about the show.
All right. So Tarek's been flipping houses on TV for the last 12 years, and I've been filming Selling Sunset. We're filming season 6 and 7 right now. And also, so I'm busier than I was before I was pregnant. Things are crazy right now. I'm also filming a show with Tarek called The Flipping Almusas. It'll be on HGTV Discovery Plus coming out, March next year, 2023. So it's a docu-series. It's following the life of our family, our relationship, the pregnancy journey, and also flipping houses. So we're working on 10 projects together right now. It's not just for TV. We're actually really doing this in real life.
So this is a big question that I think a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know the answer to. Do you buy the houses yourselves?
Yes.
Does the network give you any money to buy the houses?
No, we have
I wish.
no outside investors. So, like I said, he's been doing this for a long time, and now I'm doing it alongside him. And I bring my real estate knowledge to our flipping business, and also, more high end.
Oh, that means we're just spending a lot of money. Has anyone seen Flip or Flop? Okay, it's like Flip or Flop, but even more expensive and even more over budget.
But I think the difference in your other show, your old show, was this is following the life of me and Tarek and our family, and it's more of a reality flipping show.
Yeah, well, sorry not to interrupt, love. I'd say the big difference is on my previous show, it was more about the house itself, where now the Flipping Almusas is more about who we are as people and more about running the business of flipping houses. So instead of focusing on the house, it's focusing on the overall business as well as our entire family, from my mom, my dad, her parents, the kids. So we're having so much fun.
So it's like reality show plus Flip or Flop
Yeah.
equals the Flipping Almusas.
Exactly.
Look at us go.
Yeah.
All right, so when you think about this, like, are we trying to be Kardashian-esque? Like what's the goal here of this? Your
Yeah.
eyes lit up.
Well,
when
I
said that.
I must say, I watched the Kardashians way in the past, and I stopped watching for a very long time, and I am watching the new seasons, and I tell him, like,
Tarek, are you watching the new season?
I told him he should because it's not only like so well done the way it's produced, but they're so raw and real, going back to being your true authentic self, and I think that's how people resonate with you. So I am a big fan of that show.
Well,
actually.
they also are probably the best marketers on the planet.
Yes.
Like, well, top 10.
But they
I
got
mean,
to that point because of who they are, and yes, that is where I'm trying to go. And I say I aspire to be that. I mean, they're billionaires with successful brands. They touch anything, and it's successful. So that is where I'm trying to build. And
they made those billions by using their social media platform to sell products that they then developed, right?
exactly. And it just takes time. Like, I am bigger than I was 6 months ago.
Are you making a pregnant joke?
Oh, that is funny. Yes, that too. Real life, I am bigger than I was 6 months ago.
No, you're much bigger. I meant professionally.
Thanks, David.
So to wrap up,